Hello and welcome to my channel. It's Helen. Stick It Down and the Studio Challengers are collaborating this month and I'm on both teams. So I'm being cheeky and using the same layout for both groups. This combined challenge requires you to use the wonderful sketch created by Laura and to use a song title for the layout title. I'm sticking pretty close to the sketch and using a Motley Crue title from 1985, Home Sweet Home. Instead of having square photos, I'm using smaller rectangle photos, mainly because they're landscape photos and I can't really cut them down into squares. Like I do with so many of my layouts, I'm starting with a piece of basil marshmallow cardstock before I start doing my mixed media background. I like basil marshmallow cardstock because it's quite thick, it's designed to take a lot of mixed media, and although it does warp sometimes, it's not too bad. I've pulled out some Distress Oxide inks, mainly in broken china. I think I use a bit of peacock feathers as well. And I apply it first with sponge applicator, and then I put some on packaging technique, well, on some plastic, and activate it with either a shimmer spray or a Lindy Stamp Gang spray and smush it around my page. Add some sprinkles and try to wait for it to dry. I'm not very patient, but while I was waiting for it to dry, I found this stencil in my very small stash now that I have and used some snowflake paste to add some lines. I wanted it to bring it across the page. I don't really know why I wanted those lines there. I just felt like I needed them. And then while I was waiting for it to dry, I went through my paper stash going, what am I going to use? I wanted something with a house on, and then I found this range from Bella Boulevard, Mind Your Manners, and there are little blue houses in it and owls, and I was like, yep, perfect. Luckily, when I bought this collection last year, I also got the 6x8 patterned paper pad, and I ripped a few of the pages out to use as mats behind the photo. I wanted to use just the solid colours. I didn't want a lot of pattern behind the photos. One, they're very colourful. Well, if you consider just blues and different shades of blues, very colourful. And two, by the time I've stacked them up, there's hardly any room left on that vertical line. So to have big coloured mats behind wouldn't work anyway. Plus, I decided to do my normal, trim down the white cardstock and do a mat behind. I seem to like to have that border around my page, and if I don't do it this way, then I either draw a border around or I put bits of cardstock on edges. I seem to like to enclose my layout. Anyway, luckily I gutted out the middle, and because, well, I knew this was on the A side, these frames, and I thought about fussy cutting a few out to use in the layout. Unfortunately, my fussy cutting wasn't the best. I think my scissors need a bit of a clean, actually, and so I decided just to trim them down and make them into little squares or rectangles. The pink one doesn't end up making it to the layout, mainly because I just seem to be on that whole blue track. It's become a very monochromatic layout, just with touches of orange, but when you look at the photos, my whole house is pretty blue. So, unfortunately, it's become a very blue layout. Well, that's what Ben said when he looked at it last night. It's like, oh, very blue, Mum. As you can see, I didn't actually have another piece of this patterned paper, and I wanted to have those vertical strips with the dark blue. So I've had to make them up using, two pieces. But in the end, you can't see that they're joined anyway. Clever placement and lucky sticking, I think, got me through. I inked around the edges of the white cardstock with some more Distress ink, or Distress Oxide ink, I should say, in broken china, and then used some double-sided tape to help stick it down. I love using that method with the double-sided tape because it allows my inner anal self to ensure that it's centered and I have an even border all the way around. What I didn't do a great job was sticking these pieces down and trimming them. However, by the time I'm finished, you can't see the dodgy job that I've created. That sticker strip comes off of the 12 by 12 sheet of stickers, and there's alphabets and sticker strip and other little things. And I use some fun foam just to pop up that longer photo or that central photo. These photos actually are of my house that a professional photographer took because currently it's on the market. I found this little frame in the chipboard embellishments and it fits perfectly, home sweet home. And because of the shaped border, the middle point fits perfectly over the join of the light blue paper strips, hides it beautifully. On a 12 by 12 sticker sheet are these grey letters, and sweet looks perfect. It was too much to do the whole title with these letters, but the sweet works beautifully. A little bit of extra glue on a couple of the letters due to the mixed media in the background. They weren't sticking that well without just a little bit of help. I went through my pen stash finding the right blue, and yes, I have multiple blue pens as well, just to finish off my title, Home Sweet Home. Very original, I know, but, well, it has been a great home to the boys and I for the last 3 years, and now it can be a great home to somebody else. These blue owls are half the reason that I bought this paper range in the first place, because I do love owls, and they were just so cute I couldn't resist. Although I've had to depersonalise the house for selling, if you'd been here a couple of months ago, you would have noticed my owlery by the front door. I've been given a lot of owls over the years, and I had them all on this table by the front door. So the owls are very fitting. Unfortunately now they're all packed away. You may have noticed I had a couple of frames and I chopped them up, and I've just used them, poked them behind the photos just for a little bit of added interest to that border or that vertical border strip, and a little bit here to that photo, it's not a photo, to that little house picture as well. And then some journaling just saying about the house and how she's been a great house, but it's time for us to move on. I've used grey pen for that, mainly because I don't want it to stand out too much. And if I'd used blue, it would have stood out way too much. And I'm just finishing off with some little smaller embellishments. This epoxy hexagon, some little chipboard pieces. And luckily, that dropped the right way and I didn't get glue everywhere. And some puffy stars and enamel stars from my stash. And that finishes it all off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you will join us either at Stick It Down or the Studio Challenges and play along with the sketch and the song title. Until next time, see you later. Thank you. P.S. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and thank you so much to all the wonderful people that have. You make my day. Thank you. Bye.